Selden, what luck.
Good luck?
Yes. I'm on my way to the Gus Trenners at Bellamont, and I've missed the 3:15 to Rhinebeck. And there isn't another train till 5:30. How nice of you to come to my rescue.
And what form should my rescue take?
Oh, almost any.
Shall we go over to Sherry's for a cup of tea?
Oh, I'm dying for a cup of tea. But isn't there a quieter place?
I live near here.
At the Benedict still?
Yes, on the top floor.
Is it cool up there?
Come up and see.
I'll take the risk. Oh, how delicious to have a place like this all to oneself.
Even women have been known to enjoy the privileges of a flat.
Governesses, yes, but not poor marriageable girls.
I even knew a girl who once lived in a flat.
Oh, if I could only do over my aunt's drawing room, I know I should be a better woman.
Is it so very bad?
That shows how seldom you come there. Why don't you come oftener?
When I do come, it's not to look at Mrs. Peniston's furniture.
Nonsense. You don't come at all. And yet we get on so well when we meet.
Cream or lemon?
Lemon. Oh, I can't make you out. Of course, there are men who dislike me, and others who are afraid of me. They think I want to marry them. But I don't think that you dislike me. And you can't possibly think that I want to marry you.
No, I absolve you from that.
Well, then?
Well, then, perhaps that's the reason.
The reason for what?
The fact that you don't want to marry me. Perhaps I don't regard that as such a strong inducement to go and see you.
Dear Mr. Selden, it is stupid of you to be disingenuous. And it isn't like you to be stupid. I've been about too long. People are getting tired of me. They are beginning to say that I ought to marry.
Isn't marriage your vocation? Isn't it what you're all brought up for?
I suppose so.
So why not take the plunge and have it over?
You collect, do you? First editions and things.
Mm-hmm.
And Americana. Do you collect Americana?
No, that's rather out of my line.
And Americana are horribly dull, I suppose.
I should fancy so, except to the historian.
And yet they do fetch such fabulous prices, don't they?
Well, only the very rich can afford to buy them.
And you know that I am not rich. But life is very expensive. Do you mind not being rich enough? And having to work? Do you mind that?
Well, the work itself is not so bad. I'm rather fond of the law.
But do you mind enough to have to marry to get out of it?
God forbid.
Ah. You see, there is the difference. A girl must, and a man if he chooses.
Perhaps you'll meet your fate tonight at the Trenners.
I thought you might be going there.
Those big parties bore me.
As they do me.
Then why go?
You forget. It's part of the business.
Good luck at Bellamont. You see, I came after all.
Dear me, am I late?
Late for what?
Wait for whom?
Perhaps you had an earlier engagement.
Yes, I had.
Perhaps I am in the way then. Mr. Selden is at your disposal. I never interfere with Mr. Selden's engagements.
But I have no engagement with Mr. Selden. My engagement was to go to church, and I am afraid that the carriages have left without me. Have they left, do you know?
Yes, I heard them drive away sometime since.
Then I shall have to walk.
It's too late to get there.
Well, I shall have the credit for trying, at any rate. You must be quite breathless.
How fast you walk. I thought I'd never catch up with you.
But I've been sitting here for nearly an hour,
Waiting for me, I hope.
waiting to see if you would come,
Weren't you sure that I would?
if I waited long enough. But I only had a limited time to give to the experience
Why limited?
by my other engagement.
Oh, now I see why you were getting up on your Americana.
That is why I was waiting for you. To thank you for having given me so many points.
You can hardly do justice to the subject in so short a time. Won't you devote the afternoon to it? We'll take a walk, and you can thank me at your leisure. Let us sit here.
I have broken 2 engagements for you today, and both of them with Percy Grice. How many have you broken for me?
None. My only engagement at Bellamont was with you.
You really came to Bellamont to see me.
Of course I did.
Why?
Because I always like to see what you're doing. You're such a wonderful spectacle.
Well, now that you are here, you can see the effect firsthand.
Well, I don't flatter myself that my coming here has deflected your course of action by a hair's breadth.
Oh, do give me one. I haven't smoked in days.
Why such unnatural abstinence?
Because it is not considered becoming in a jeune fille à marier. And at the present moment, I am a jeune fille à marier. You must suppose me a dull kind of person if you think I never yield to an impulse.
But I don't suppose that. Your genius lies in converting impulses into intentions.
My genius. My genius would appear to be my ability to do the wrong thing at the right time.
Or vice versa.
Is there any final test of genius but success? I certainly haven't succeeded.
But you will marry someone very rich?
What a miserable future you foresee for me.
Haven't you seen it for yourself?
Of course. But it seems so much darker when you show it to me. Why do you do this to me? Why do you make the things that I have chosen seem hateful to me? If you have nothing to give me instead.
No, I have nothing to give you instead. If I had, it should be yours. You know that.
But you belittle me in being so sure they're the only things I care
Isn't it natural that I should try to belittle all the things I can't offer you?
Do you want to marry me?
No, I don't. But perhaps I should, if you did.
It would be a great risk. I have never concealed from you how great. You are a coward.
No. It's you who are the coward.
Are you serious?
Why not? I took no risk in being so.
Why is it that when we meet, we always play this elaborate game?
It's getting late. Let us go down. This is luck. I was wondering if I should be able to have a word with you.
I haven't recovered my self-respect since you showed me how poor my ambitions were.
On the contrary, I thought that I had been the means of proving they were more important to you than anything else.
Lily, we thought you'd given us the slip.
We've been hunting all over for you. My object in hunting for you was to invite you to my box at the opera on opening night. Gus has promised to come to town on purpose. He's a tremendous admirer of yours. I fancy he'd go a lot farther for the pleasure of seeing you.
The Trenners are my best friends. I think we should all go a long way to see one another.
How's your luck been going lately on Wall Street? I hear that Gus pulled off a nice little pile for you last month.
I had a little money to invest, and Mr. Trenner has been helping me in such matters. I had a lucky turn. Is that what you call it? You've had a great many yourself, I believe.
Is that the latest creation of that dressmaker you go to see at the Benedict? If so, it's a great success. Isn't it, Mr. Selden?
It's nice of you. It would be nicer still if you'd get me a glass of lemonade.
Pleasure.
They met 6 weeks ago at Bertha Dorset's and have been devoted ever since. The engagement is to be announced next week. They say it will be just the nicest marriage possible. One dull fortune marrying another.
Evie Van Osburgh and Percy Grice. Well, well.
Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Lily Bart as Summer by Watteau.
She's never looked so radiant. I think I like her best in that simple dress. It makes her look like the real Lily. The Lily I know.
The Lily we know. She is herself with a few people only. She has it in her to become whatever she is believed to be. We must think the best of her.
I'll tell her that. She always says you dislike her.
Well, Grace, how was life at Richfield?
Quiet. And Peniston sees very little company.
I'm sure your being there gave her much pleasure.
Yes, I'm as reliable as roast mutton. But Aunt Julia is not alone in preferring Lily's erratic brilliance.
You should marry Grace.
We should all marry Mr. Selden.
You never speak to me.
I'm never near you long enough.
You think hard things of me.
I think of you, at any rate.
Then why do we never see each other?
I have my law practice, and you're always surrounded by admirers.
There are no admirers at my aunt's house.
Well, then perhaps I might take tea with you at Mrs. Peniston's next week.
Yeah. Come at 4 on Friday. Then we can talk. I have so much to say to you. I need your help. You promised me once you'd help me.
The only way I can help you is by loving you.
Love me. But don't tell me so.
Selden, going to?
Aren't you staying for supper?
No. When people crowd their rooms so that you can't get near anyone you wish to speak to, I'd sooner do without. My wife was right to stay away. She says life is too short to spend it in breaking new people in. Thank you. Look here, Lily. Judy and I have been in town for weeks. When am I going to see you?
You can find me any afternoon at my aunt's. Come see me there, and we can have a quiet talk.
You put me off with that at the Van Osberg wedding. The plain truth is, now that you've got what you wanted, you'd rather not see me.
Don't be foolish, Gus. If you want to see me, you can come to my aunt's.
Lily, let's leave before the first act starts. Judy's as cross as two sticks when she's away from Bellamont. Come to the house now.
Is Judy unwell?
Well, a visit from you might be just what's needed.
Very well, Gus. I shall come with you.
Mr. Selden,
Mrs. Fisher.
do join us. What brings you to Monte Carlo?
I finished my business with a client in London, so decided to come down and renew my objective interest in life.
Ah, so you were not so far removed from being manipulated by the strings of society as one might think.
Mrs. Fisher, none of us are.
We're starving to death because we can't decide where to lunch.
Of course, one gets the best things at the terrace. But all the Americans go there now.
I do believe the Dorsets are back.
It's their yacht. The Sabrina. Oh, yes.
Je fais souvent ce rêve étrange et pénétrant d'une femme inconnue et que j'aime et qui m'aime.
Well, what's the use of mincing matters? We all know what Bertha brought Lily abroad for. The Silverton affair is at the acute stage. It's necessary that George be distracted, and I'm sure Lily does distract him. A clever woman would know just when to play her cards right, but Lily's never been very clever in that way. I do hope there hasn't been a row.
How did you find London, Mr. Selden? More agreeable than New York?
In some ways, yes. Nevertheless, I stopped over to see you.
To see me? Or to see an older friend?
I beg you to leave the yacht.
To leave? What do you mean? What has happened?
Nothing. But if something should, why be in the way of it?
How would you think that I would leave Bertha?
You have yourself to think of, you know.
Nothing will happen.
Of course not, I'm sure.
Did you see George today?
Yes.
Well, what happened? What will happen?
Nothing, as yet. And nothing in the future, I think.
You're sure?
I'm not sure, but I'm a good deal surer. No, thank you. Assume everything is as usual.
Every time he tells the squirrel is big.
Before I go, I want to leave you the prize.
It is charming of you to remember me.
What you really mean is that you've snubbed the Bryes and you know they know it.
Carrie.
If you'd even managed to have them invited to the Sabrina once, especially when royalty was coming.
Stay over and I'll get the Duchess to dine with them.
I shan't stay over. The Gormers have paid for my salary and I leave tonight. Get the Duchess to dine with them all the same. They'd be much obliged.
Do you sing? Really?
Come on, Lily, if you're going back to the yacht.
Miss Bart is not returning to the yacht.
Bertha. Miss Bart, there has been some misunderstanding. Some mistake.
Miss Bart remains here. And I think, George, we had better not detain our guests any longer.
I have some business to attend to, and it is easier for me to remain ashore for the night. Mr. Selden, you promised to see me to my camp. Do you know of a quiet hotel?
That you can go to alone? Impossible.
Oh, it's too wet to sleep outside.
There must be someone you can go to.
At this hour?
God, if you had only listened to me.
Not now.
You must go immediately to the Stepneys.
I can't. You mustn't ask me to. You don't know Gwen.
Come, you must appear to have gone there directly.
What if she refuses?
She won't. Trust me.
I cannot find my prescription, Lily. Do you have it? I'm always losing them.
You usually leave them on your bureau, Mrs. Hatch.
Oh, of course I do. Get it filled for me today, Lily. If I don't have my chloral at night, I never sleep. And I have to see my beauty doctor today, otherwise I cannot face society. The manicure will have to wait until tomorrow. I'm just not up to it today, so put her off. Don't look sour, Lily. She won't mind. She never minds. After lunch, I shall go to Sherry's for tea. Then this evening, I'm playing bridge with my lawyer. 8, I think. So I'll try to go for my fitting tomorrow morning, but only if it doesn't interfere with the art exhibition at 4. Then supper. No, the theater first, and then supper.
But, Mrs. Hatch, if you don't tell me in advance of these changes, how shall I be able to keep your diary accurately?
Oh, Lily, engagements are made to be broken, especially with tradespeople. They expect it.
Yes, Mrs. Hatch.
Oh, and by the way, Lily, on Friday I'm dining with Melville Stancy and some people called the Gormers.
Yes, Mrs. Hatch.
And don't forget my prescription, Lily. It's on the bureau.
Mrs. Fisher was anxious to know how you were getting on.
Why didn't she look me up herself, then?
She was afraid of being importunate. You see, no such scruples restrained me.
Then you have come to be of some use to me?
Yes.
So what am I to do with you?
You could talk things over with me.
What makes you think that I have anything in particular to talk about?
My initiative doesn't go beyond putting myself at your disposal. I shouldn't have come if I thought I could be of no use to you. Do you know where you are?
Of course I know where I am.
You must let me take you away from here.
If you have come to say disagreeable things about Mrs. Hatch...
It is precisely your relationship with her that concerns me.
My relationship with Mrs. Hatch is one that I have no reason to be ashamed of. She has helped me earn a living when my old friends were quite content to see me starve.
Nonsense. Starvation is not the only alternative. I happen to know that your aunt's legacy could make you modestly independent.
Well, what you don't happen to know is that I owe every penny of that legacy.
Good God.
Every penny. And more besides. I have no money except my small income, and I need to earn money in order to keep myself alive.
I should be happier to see you out of this particular employment.
But I should not.
I simply wish to point out to you the false position you have placed yourself in.
I suppose by that you mean my being on the outside of society. But I have long been excluded from it. And I remember your once telling me that it was only those on the inside who took the difference seriously.
The question is, Mrs. Hatch's desire to be inside may put you in the position I call false. You cannot want this.
You already told me that the sole object of my upbringing was to teach me to get what I want. Now, why not assume that that is precisely what I am doing now?
I have never thought of you as a successful example of that kind of upbringing.
Well, give me a little more time. I may still do credit to my training.
That was undignified.
Where does dignity end and rectitude begin?
Good day, Miss Bart.
Good day, Mr. Selden.
I can recommend the armchair.
I came to say that I am sorry for the way we parted. For what I said to you that day at Mrs. Hatch's.
I was sorry, too. You look tired. Do sit down. Why, you're drenched. Let me make you some tea.
No. I must go in a moment. I must go. I may not see you again for a long time. And I wanted to tell you that I have never forgotten the things that you said to me at Bellamont. That they have helped keep me from becoming the person that many people thought me to be.
I'm glad. But nothing I have said has really made the difference. The difference is in yourself.
No, don't say that. That is all that I have lived on. Don't take that from me. We resist the great temptations. But it is the little ones that eventually pull us down. I remember your saying that such a life could never satisfy me. And I was ashamed to admit that I could. That is what I wanted to thank you for. I have tried. I have tried hard. But life is difficult. And I am a useless person. And now I am on the rubbish heap.
Lily, can I help you?
You told me once that you could help me only by loving me. Well, you did love me for a moment. And it helped me. But that moment is gone. And I let it go. And one must go on living.
Lily, you mustn't speak in this way. Things may change, but you could never go out of my life.
Let us be friends. Then I shall feel safe. Whatever happens.
What do you mean? What's going to happen?
Nothing. Nothing is going to happen. But I should like some tea now. Goodbye, Lawrence.
Oh, Lily! Lily. Miss Bart?
It's a great mercy.
May I see her alone?
Will it take long?